It started with a map drawn by colonial France. Now bodies lie on the Thai-Cambodian border. Gripen jets scream overhead. Cambodian tanks burn. China calls it Western meddling. America scrambles to protect an old ally. And Donald Trump? He's trying to broker peace in a war that could pull two superpowers into Southeast Asia's deadliest flashpoint. A deadly conflict that erupted along the Thai-Cambodian border this week has drawn direct intervention from President Donald Trump, who announced on July 26th that both nations have agreed to ceasefire talks. The fighting, which began July 24th over territory disputed since French colonial rule, has already claimed more than a dozen lives and forced the evacuation of over 150,000 civilians. This border dispute traces back more than a century to when colonial France drew the boundaries between these Southeast Asian neighbours. The current violence pits Thailand, a long-time US treaty ally with 361,000 active military personnel, against Cambodia's much smaller force of roughly 120,000 troops. The military imbalance is stark. As the International Institute for Strategic Studies noted in its recent analysis,
Thailand has a large, well-funded military, and its air force is one of the best equipped and trained in Southeast Asia.
Understanding the historical context helps explain this disparity. Unlike Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, Thailand escaped the devastating wars that engulfed the region in the second half of the 20th century, as well as the European colonialism that preceded them. Thailand has had decades to build its military capabilities without the disruption of prolonged conflict, while Cambodia's armed forces are relatively young, established only in 1993 after forces of the communist government were merged with two non-communist resistance armies. The disparity extends beyond numbers. Thailand's economy is more than 10 times larger than Cambodia's, and the Lowy Institute ranks Thailand 14th in regional military capabilities compared to Cambodia's 21st position. In the broader Asian power structure, Thailand is considered a middle power, ranked 10th overall just behind Indonesia, while Cambodia is grouped as a minor power alongside countries like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. The weapons gap is particularly striking. Thailand fields modern Swedish Gripen fighter jets, alongside dozens of US-made F-16 and F-5 jets, while Cambodia lacks any combat-capable air force. On the ground, Thailand operates sophisticated weaponry, including 60 modern Chinese-made VT-4 tanks and over 600 artillery pieces, including 56 powerful 155mm weapons. Cambodia manages only about 200 aging Chinese and Soviet-made tanks, with just a dozen 155mm guns among its 400 smaller artillery pieces. The International Institute for Strategic Studies bluntly assessed Cambodia's limitations, stating that
Cambodia currently lacks the ability to design and manufacture modern equipment for its armed forces.
The conflict has exposed the complex web of great power relationships in Southeast Asia, with China backing Cambodia and the United States supporting Thailand. This alignment raises concerns about potential proxy confrontation, though both superpowers are currently advocating for diplomatic solutions. China's relationship with Cambodia runs deep, built over decades of strategic partnership. Chinese Defense Ministry spokesperson Senior Colonel Wu Qian emphasized this bond in February, declaring that
China and Cambodia are ironclad friends who always support each other. The two militaries enjoy unbreakable relations and rock-solid brotherhood.
This relationship has materialized in concrete ways. According to international analysts, Beijing has established significant military infrastructure in Cambodia, including the Ream Naval Base on the Gulf of Thailand, capable of hosting Chinese aircraft carriers. The two nations completed their 7th annual Golden Dragon joint military exercise in May, touted as the largest ever and featuring live-fire training scenarios. This partnership is expected to reach a new level and achieve new development this year, according to reports from the People's Liberation Army's website. The International Institute for Strategic Studies confirms that
Cambodia's most important international defense links are with China and Vietnam. Despite a traditional reliance on Russia for defense equipment, China has emerged as a key supplier.
However, China has denied providing new weapons for this conflict, asserting that Cambodia's military hardware stems from earlier cooperation agreements. Beijing has blamed the conflict's origins on Western colonialism while calling for restraint and peaceful resolution, wary that regional instability could undermine its broader ASEAN relationships. The United States faces its own complex calculations. Thailand remains a formal treaty ally dating back to the 1954 Manila Pact, with military cooperation stretching back to the Vietnam War era when Thailand hosted US Air Force assets, including B-52 bombers, and tens of thousands of Thai troops fought alongside US-backed South Vietnam. This history established Thailand as a major non-NATO ally, providing special benefits and decades of US weapons program support. Today, this partnership manifests through the annual Cobra Gold exercise, which began in 1982 and has become the world's longest-running international military drill. Beyond Cobra Gold, Thai and US forces conduct more than 60 exercises together annually. The US State Department reports that more than 900 US aircraft and 40 Navy ships visit Thailand yearly, reflecting decades of close partnership. Despite this extensive cooperation, Thailand has recently adopted a more neutral approach, increasing ties with China and developing a domestic weapons industry with help from Israel, Italy, Russia, South Korea, and Sweden. Military analyst Carl Schuster, formerly of the US Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center, assessed the tactical situation, noting that despite Thailand's superior firepower,
Terrain favors access from Cambodian territory to the disputed area. The Royal Thai Air Force is superior, and their special forces are superior. I think the Thais will prefer to emphasize air power and long-range firepower in the conflict.
the stakes extend beyond the immediate combatants. This conflict tests American influence in Southeast Asia against China's growing regional presence. Both Washington and Beijing recognize that escalation could draw them into unwanted confrontation, explaining their current emphasis on diplomatic resolution over military support for their respective allies. As clashes continued into Saturday, despite ceasefire discussions, the international community watches whether Trump's intervention can prevent further bloodshed in this strategically vital region.